YTBC, what's the deal? First, before I start this video, let me give a shout out to everybody, man, that comments on my videos. Whether we agree, we disagree, we have a discussion. Even if I don't respond to you, I read all the comments. Like I told you guys before, I'm not really a big into leaving long ass response for comments. I'll do it sometime, but I'd rather just drop a video. But I do read all the comments. The last video I made was about the Floyd Mayweather era, and you know, some fans today thinks that if you like a offensive first type of fighter or explosive type of fights, people think you don't know anything about boxing because you don't fight like Floyd Mayweather or, you know, Erislandy Lara or Rigondeaux or whoever, Bernard Hopkins, Andre Ward. Thanks for everybody left comments on that video, man. I wasn't looking for anybody to agree with me. You know what I'm saying? That's why I like when you guys leave the comments, and a lot of you guys had different opinions. So shout out to all of you, man, on my channel that left a comment on that video. Now, let me break down this Deontay Wilder versus Johann Duhaupas, and I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. Every time I go to a video and I'll, you know, look this guy up, everybody's pronouncing it different, from the uploaders here on YouTube to some of the TV announcers that I heard in different countries. So Duhaupas, I believe his name is, he's a French heavyweight. You know, he's a big guy. He's 6'5", 245 pounds or 40 pounds. So there's nothing, you know, indifferent about him. You know, he's a big guy. You know, most of the heavyweights today are big guys like that. So he is durable. You know, he's a switch hitter. He can go left to right. He can fight on his back foot. He can fight going backwards. He doesn't panic. So when he is pushed backward, he isn't, you know, going helter-skelter, doesn't know what to do. You know, he can keep a tight defense and go backwards. One thing I noticed about his jab, and I noticed it in the Erkin Tepper fight, is he will triple and double up his jab early from the get-go. Like, so, you know, first round, he's doubling and tripling his jab. Now, the problem is when he lets that right hand go, I didn't see that much power on it. And when I say power, I'm not talking about compared to the average Joe walking down the street. I'm talking about the top 15 heavyweights in the world. You know, that's what I mean by power. So I'm not trying to disrespect him by saying he's some, you know, chump with no power. No, he has power. He can knock you out. You know what I'm saying? He can knock me out, right? You know, so what I'm saying is just when he's letting his hands go at that elite level, you know, when I seen him step up, them shots really didn't seem like they had much on him. Now, he does have 20 KOs, but a lot of those KOs were domestic fights over in his country. But when he stepped up in competition, he only has 2 losses. He's never been knocked out. But when he stepped up, he lost to Erkin Tepper. For those of you who don't know, Erkin Tepper, he just stretched out David Price over in the UK. And then he lost to Francisco Pianata. I seen Pianata get beat by Povetkin, and I see him get beat by Klitschko. And the thing is, Duhaupas, he got outboxed by these guys because he didn't get knocked out, so he got outboxed. And what strikes me, you know, to be outboxed by Erkin Tepper, no disrespect, but Tepper is more of a banger. You know, he's not a guy that's really, you know, setting his sights to outbox you. You know, if you do last, it's because you were just taking, you know, shots and shots. But he was pretty much outboxing Duhaupas. But it was a, you know, a little tough little scrap. It wasn't a blowout. It was a tough little scrap. Duhaupas, you know, sometimes he'll get to move in his head. You know, he'll try to do little slick movements. I'm not calling him a slick fighter, but you know, I'm 6'5", 240. I'm about as big as this dude. So what I mean by slick movements, he'll do, you know, little slick things with his head, try to keep a little high defense. He doesn't do it all the time. He'll do it he'll do it here and there, try to be tricky, but he's one of these guys, man, that when I look at him, you know, I look at his build, look at his fighting ability, his record. He just seems like a guy that will give a top 5 type of guy just some good work. And I'm looking at the WBC rankings, man, and let me just run through the rankings really quick. You know, because after this fight, man, Deontay Wilder is going to have to step up, in my opinion. I'm going to go over, you know, let me just go over these rankings real quick with y'all. Okay, the WBC, they have Povetkin #1, so he's not going to fight Povetkin. Povetkin's going to be fighting Mariusz Wach, which is a good fight. We have Anthony Joshua #2. He's going to be fighting Dillian White. So he can't fight those guys, right? So then we have Tsar Glazkov, who I thought has got some gift decisions in his career. Staverne's number 4, Bryant Jennings number 5, Lucas Brown's number 6, Artur Spilka's number 7, Carlos Takam's number 8, and Tony Thompson. I did a video about Tony Thompson, man. People, for some reason, these American guys do not want to get in there with Tony Thompson. I'm not saying, you know, people are scared of him, but I'm just saying it really doesn't seem like nobody wants to fight Tony Thompson. Now, I know something came up, I believe a few months ago, something about Thompson failing a drug test or something, you know, but besides that, because I think a lot of these dudes are dirty in every weight class, you know, so if he does pop dirty, it doesn't surprise me. And number 10 is Erkin Tepper. Now, some of you may say, well, damn, why didn't Wilder just fight Erkin Tepper? And I know Tepper has a fight set up, but they could have worked something out to get Erkin Tepper. I would have rather seen Erkin Tepper. Some of you may say, hey, Erkin Tepper, Duhaupas, what's the difference, right? I heard Deontay Wilder say he tried to say that, you know, he was talking about Vladimir Klitschko, and Deontay Wilder can have his opinion. I'm just, you know, going to go over what he said, but he's, you know, he's a WBC titleist. He can have his opinion, but he thinks Vlad's really not been fighting people. He says Vlad has been fighting people, guys who we don't know who they are. We can't pronounce their name. And my response to that as a fan is like, you know, Wilder, it's like, look, man, you know, we can't get into that type of nonsense. This whole we can't pronounce their name, that doesn't really mean anything. Because according to BoxRec, and I use BoxRec because I like their system, their criteria. They go by a point system. They don't just, you know, it's not their opinion who's, you know, ranked. They have a system, and I like that. Some of you may not agree with their rankings. Even I don't agree with them sometimes, but I understand it, and I like their ranking system because they, you know, like I said, they use a certain criteria and they go by points. So when Deontay Wilder says Klitschko's been fighting guys whose names you can't pronounce, you know, he left out the fact that Klitschko's last 7 opponents, including Fury, is going to be his 6th opponent with the undefeated record. Okay, that's one. But just look at the opponents Klitschko's fought. Kurbat Pulev, I mean, Alexander Povetkin, Francisco Pianata, who actually beat the guy Duhaupas, who Wilder's getting ready to fight, ironically. I don't buy that shit. He also beat Marius Watch, you know, David Haye, Tony Thompson. So I don't get what guys he's saying who names we can't pronounce. I understand what he's trying to say. He's fighting a whole bunch of European guys, but I don't know if Wilder just figured this out or he doesn't know. And I like Deontay Wilder, but dude, the American heavyweights, we've been getting our ass whooped, man. You know what I'm saying? You coming and winning the WBC, that's good for us. And before you had it, Shannon Briggs. Now, no disrespect. I'm not trying to disrespect these guys. Shannon Briggs, Deontay Wilder, as a fan, you know, that's not Tyson Holyfield, Bull, Foreman, Ali. You know what I'm saying? So we're just getting back in the picture, man. So this whole can't pronounce. Okay, well, a lot of guys can't pronounce the name of the guy you're getting ready to fight. I don't even know if I'm even pronouncing his name right. Duhaupas. But with that said, I know Duhaupas will give you some good work. But I just want to touch on Deontay Wilder talking about Klitschko's, you know, fighting guys whose names we can't pronounce and pretty much trying to downgrade Klitschko when we know that he is, you know, pretty much the champion of the division. You know, he has 3 of the 4 titles. He's not fully unified, but I mean, he has 3 of them, man. He has the WBA, WBO, and the IBF. And he most likely would have had the WBC had Vitali not had it, you know, for all those years. But as far as this fight goes, man, I mean, Deontay Wilder's chin is still up for debate for me. You know, I have the right to reserve questions about his chin. Although he did fight Bermane Stiverne, he did get caught with some shots. He did show versatility in his game. He did fight off his back foot. He was pumping that long ass jab. Let me talk about his jab for a second, y'all. There was a video maybe a few years ago where Lennox Lewis they're like in a parking lot, and Lewis was trying to show him, you know, different ways to use the jab. And just from watching it, it could just be, you know, me, but it looked like Wilder was kind of dismissive of what Lewis was teaching him. And I understand he's working with Mark Breland, who was an excellent fighter back in his day, a tall fighter. But Lennox, nothing against, Breland, Olympian, nothing against him, man. We talking about Lennox Lewis here. And I think whenever Lennox opens up the textbook, we need to take out our pens and pads and we need to take some notes. You know what I'm saying? Now maybe me watching the video, maybe I misinterpreted. Maybe, Deontay Wilder was listening in his own way, but it just looked like he was being kind of dismissive of an all-time great heavyweight. Breland didn't fight at heavyweight. He was a professional fighter, champion. I'm not saying he wasn't, but I don't know, man. I think you should, be loyal to your trainer. But when somebody like Lennox is telling you something, shh, just listen, man. Just listen. But Duhaupas, what can I say about him? He's number 11 ranked by the WBC. Eric Molina was ranked number 7. So some of you that follow these rankings, I know the WBC, a lot of these organizations, as long as you're fighting somebody in the top 15, they're fine with it. But after this Duhaupas, we went, Eric Molina was number 7. Duhaupas is number 11. I mean, we have to fight somebody in the top 10 of the WBC. And all those fights, will be great fights. But I would like to see a top 5 type of fighter from the WBC. Jennings. I'll even go with a Stavern rematch. Glaskov. Povetkin is what I want to see. If he gets past Watch, what I think he will, is not given. Watch is a durable big guy. But I don't know, if Heyman wants him in there with Povetkin. I'm not going to say that he's scared, but it just looks like they're trying to, I don't get what they're waiting for to fight him. Now, I know a lot of you going to say, oh, you're shitting on this fight against Duhaupas. What about when, Lennox Lewis fought Phil Jackson in his second title defense, or Evander Holyfield fought Burt Cooper, at the Omni in Atlanta in his second title. I know other guys have taken light touches, but shit, Lennox Lewis, at least he fought Frank Bruno before he fought Phil Jackson. At least Holyfield fought George Foreman, although the George Foreman in his second career, but shit, George was still better than Eric Molina. You know what I'm saying? So he won't be he's not the first guy to take a soft touch being champion. He won't be the last, but Duhaupas isn't just a complete scrub. I will say Duhaupas is a top 50-ish, maybe, 25 to 40 ranking is all, when you rank all the heavyweights, not just the WBC rankings, but just when you rank all the heavyweights. And I looked them up on BoxRec, and like I said, I like their criteria. They have them 34. And I know that Amir Mansour was calling out Deontay Wilder. They have him number 19 when you rank all the heavyweights. They have Deontay Wilder number 4 when you rank all the heavyweights. They have Kurbat Pulev number 5. Erkin Tepper's number 8 when you rank all the heavyweights. I would have rather much see him fight Erkin Tepper, being that he beat Duhaupas. Charles Martin, I believe, is going to fight on this card, or he's fighting this day. He's going to be fighting Vicente Sandez. And that's a fight that I thought he could take too. But then when you look at the BoxRec rankings, they have Charles Martin number 35 and Duhaupas number 34, Areola 36, Gerald Washington 37, Marius Watch, who's fighting Povetkin, they have him 38. So if Povetkin's fighting Watch, who's ranked number 38 by the BoxRec overall, I don't have too much of a problem with Deontay Wilder fighting Duhaupas, who's rated higher than Watt, by a few spots. So I'm not, and Charles Martin's ranked number 35. So I'm not too mad about it because he's fighting somebody that is durable, that is going to give him some work, that is a big guy. And like I said, man, when somebody's 6'5", 240, although I say he doesn't have much power, just when a big guy like that, that's like me, that's like, when a big guy like that is a professional fighter, man, and he loads up and you don't see the punch coming, he hits you, he's going to turn your lights out. So I do think Deontay Wilder's going to win. I can see it going to decision, but I'm going to say knockout. I'm going to say knockout for this one. I think Deontay Wilder will be the first person to stop Duhaupas. And I'm going to go 7th round. I think the first few rounds, it may look a little bit awkward. he might start doubling and tripling that jab. If he can really work his jab, you know, and at least have enough on the right hand to get Wilder's attention, you know, because even in that last Molina fight, Molina has some moments. And I wouldn't say Molina's a harder puncher than Duhaupas. He might be, but not by much if he is, at least according to the eye test. You know, but Duhaupas looks to score a lot of points, man. Is you know, and he's a big guy. You know, it looks kind of weird sometimes being that big and you're trying to just score. You know, because usually guys is big, man. They're putting torque into these punches. They're turning and, you know, trying to knock guys out. And Duhaupas isn't really like that. You know, but he does sometimes do the old, you know, put up the tight defense shell and he'll let you get off and then he'll get off. You know, if he does that, man, and Deontay Wilder can find a way to loop a punch around his high guard or through his guard, and he gets on the ropes and let Deontay Wilder just start to tee off, and Deontay Wilder has long ass arms. So if he can't counter effectively or hold effectively, I mean, he's just standing there with the high guard isn't going to help you in every fight. It worked against Tepper, and Tepper's a nice puncher, good puncher. And Tepper couldn't get him out of there. Deontay Wilder's power is a little bit different than Tepper. Tepper likes to be right up in your chest, and he's a big guy too, but he has the temperament of a small heavyweight as far as height. He likes to be right up in your chest. Deontay Wilder likes to use a little distance, so his power is going to come from a different angle because he's going to be outside throwing long shots, whereas Tepper is a hook, uppercut, close range type of power fighter. Deontay Wilder's going to be a little bit on the outside with long power shots. So it's going to be different. I think he'll give Wilder some good work, though. I don't think this is going to be a 1 round, 2 round blowout. It could be, but I don't think it will be. But after this fight, he has to move up. I want to see him fight a top 10 heavyweight, not just a WBC ranking. I mean, a top 10 overall type of guy, And if he can't get one, something happens, he can't get one of those guys, put him in there with Shannon Briggs. I'll watch him fight Shannon Briggs because at least, there's a danger there of, man, if Shannon Briggs can land one, he might put Deontay Wilder to sleep. Deontay Wilder hasn't gotten a ring yet with somebody where we say, okay, man, if this dude can land one, I know this dude has power. Not because he's just a big heavyweight, because he has big punching power. Shannon Briggs, love him, hate him, think he's old, think he's on steroids. He does look kind of roided up, no disrespect, but he looks kind of roided up nowadays. But with that said, if Briggs can just land a solid right hand and you're sitting there trying to trade with him, you may be able to catch him. But if he catches you, he may put you to sleep. I want to see one of those type of situations. Tony Thompson would have been a good fight too. Thompson, even though he does get hit and he is, when he gets hit on his chin, sometimes his legs start to do a little dance, but he's a veteran. He's got upset wins. Tony Thompson's a good fighter. I like to see him in there with Wilder, but when Wilder gets in there with a Pulev or a Tepper or a Povetkin or a Briggs type of fighter, or, even a Stavern rematch, somebody that is like, man, if they land on Wilder, they can put him to sleep. And Wilder did show, that he can overcome those obstacles in the first Stavern fight. But that's just one fight. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, okay, he passed the Stavern test, he's good to go. No, we need to see some other things. But I made this video longer than it needs to be. Going with Deontay Wilder. And after this, I want to see a step up against a for real top 5, top 10 type of guy. Not somebody the WBC's feeding you. But these rankings are weird, man, because the WBC also has Joseph Parker, number 15. But I want it to be a name guy on the rise, somebody that's going to come looking for knockouts. It's the heavyweight division. Even if they do box, okay, well, I want to see a boxer puncher because I want to see how Deontay Wilder responds to this. I know he did it with Stavern, but I want to see it again. YTBC, I'm out.